Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me? Awesome. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session, What's New with Data Sharing and Collaboration. My name is Harish Kaur. I lead the product marketing for Delta Sharing, Clean Rooms, and Marketplace. And today I'm joined by our engineering leader, Tao. Tao, please introduce.
Yeah, hey everyone, thanks for joining us at the lunchtime. So I'm the engine director for our sharing and collaboration product portfolio. So that includes data sharing, clean room, marketplace, and partner integrations.
Fantastic. Thank you, Tao. So first part of our session, I'll be focusing on the business momentum. I'll be focusing on the value of data sharing and collaboration. And then Tao will come in the second half and talk about the deep technical innovations and the demos for our product. So let's jump in. So let's start with a big question. Why is data sharing important? Data sharing is not just nice to have, but it's critical to drive business value. And that's not just me saying it. Gartner says that CDOs who have successfully implemented data sharing initiatives are 1.7 times more likely to drive ROI in their organization. So it's not just about driving ROI, it's about unlocking the value of your data. And there are multiple ways we have seen customers unlock the value of data. I'll talk about 4 such patterns. First one is internal sharing, which really is about sharing within an organization, between business units, between departments, across regions and across platforms. The second one is when you go outside of the 4 walls and start sharing with your ecosystem of partners, customers, and employees. And the third one is third-party data licensing, where you are acquiring data sets from a marketplace, you're purchasing those data sets and using that to enhance your existing enterprise data. And the fourth one is SaaS application sharing. There is huge amount of data sitting inside ERP, supply chain, databases, all these applications. How do you bring that data inside and create a unified view inside the Lakehouse? All right, and that's just not the theoretical pattern. We actually have customers who are using data sharing for driving value across all these patterns. So let me talk about one example in each one of those. Mercedes-Benz, global automaker. They have built a data mesh across Azure and AWS using Delta sharing. And you will hear, I think they have a session today at 12:40 p.m. So immediately after this one, I highly recommend you go and check that session out. So that's the internal data sharing. The next one is Procore. This is about sharing between Procore and its customers. So Procore is a construction firm, and they have started sharing their site analytics, which is essentially the customer data. So they share the site analytics using Delta Share with the customer so that customer can get unified project view. The third one, third-party data licensing. We have about 280, maybe close to 300 data providers on Marketplace. 4 of those are highlighted here. I'll briefly talk about S&P Global. They have rich financial data, which customers can now acquire from Marketplace and integrate it into Unity Catalog and mix it with the rest of the enterprise data. And the last one is SaaS application sharing. You have heard a lot about SAP already, so I will not talk about that. Actually, there is a session today as well on 2 sessions on SAP, which I highly recommend you to check out. But I'll talk about Oracle, huge database company, and I spent 16 years at Oracle, by the way. Their database, Oracle Autonomous Database, supports Delta sharing. So now you can query Oracle Autonomous Database right from Databricks Data Intelligence Platform and do vice versa. And that's about bringing the analytical data as well as all the applications which run on top of Oracle database, which is the Fusion Data Intelligence, Fusion apps. You can interact and bring all that data inside Databricks. So those are the 4 patterns. But it's easier said than done. We again and again hear from our customers 3 specific challenges setting up the data sharing initiatives. First of all, fragmentation. Your customers, your partners may be using different technologies, maybe on different clouds, maybe on different platforms. And existing solutions are very compartmentalized. They help you to share, but only within the walled garden. They don't necessarily go very easily across clouds, across platforms. Second, what if you want to share raw, sensitive information with your partner, but you don't want your partner to see that data? Well, clean rooms is the solution. But existing clean room solutions are rigid, and they are very limited in terms of what kind of modeling and analysis you can do on that data. And the last one, the sharing is not just about data. We are talking about AI models, we are talking about notebooks. How do you ensure a sharing which spans across all these different assets beyond data and help you unlock AI use cases? Okay. So at Databricks, we believe there's a much better way of doing data sharing and collaboration. So first of all, we have 3 philosophical pillars. First of all, open sharing with lowest TCO. So we've built Delta sharing, which is the open protocol for cross-platform, cross-region sharing. It allows you to share across customers, whether they are using Databricks or not using Databricks. And the data is not copied, data is shared, so you reduce the storage costs significantly. Second, flexible and privacy-safe collaboration. Our philosophy with clean rooms is you should be allowed to collaborate with anybody on any platform, and you should be able to analyze the data using any tools which you like, Java, Scala, Python, R, etc. And the last one is we are AI ready. We have built the data sharing platform allowing you to essentially share data, AI models, notebooks, videos, files, images, whatnot, so that you can unlock all your AI use cases. Okay. And all this is made possible with Databricks Data Intelligence Platform, which is built for data sharing and collaboration. So there are 3 key components of our platform. First one is the marketplace, which is the open marketplace for data analytics and AI needs. Next is clean rooms, which is the privacy-safe collaboration platform. And both of these are powered with Delta sharing, the open protocol for cross-platform, cross-region sharing. And everything is governed by Unity Catalog. Yeah. So let's zoom in. I'm going to quickly zoom in into each of the 3 product lines and talk about some customer examples. So Delta sharing, it's the industry's only open protocol for cross-platform, cross-region sharing. It allows you to share all types of assets. But here's where things get interesting. Sometimes your data sits not just within Databricks. Well, not sometimes, always. Your data also sits inside databases, data warehouses, which are not necessarily in the Databricks, which are not necessarily inside Databricks. So how do you share that data? That's the concept of Lakehouse Federation sharing. No matter where your data sits, you could still share that data within or across the organization. And the last point, it doesn't matter whether the person you're sharing with or the organization you're sharing with uses Databricks or not. They can still consume this data and visualize that data. And I'm proud to announce the momentum of Delta sharing has been increasing year over year. We have 300% year over year growth in active Delta shares. And I do want to emphasize the point, active Delta share. This is not a one-time share between a provider and a recipient. This is a sustained sharing between the 2 endpoints, which implies there is a reasonable value being derived through the sharing. But the most important number over here is 40%. 40% of all these shares are with people who are not using Databricks. And nobody else in the industry can claim this because we are built with the foundation of open sharing. And this is something which differentiates us compared to any other solutions which are a bit more closed and proprietary. And the good example of that is Walmart Scintilla platform. So this is a platform to share Walmart data with suppliers ecosystem. They were initially using API-based sharing. They switched to Delta sharing, which allows them to share using a product called CloudFeed directly with the thousands of suppliers in the ecosystem. And they chose Delta sharing because their suppliers may not be using Databricks. So this helps them to get the information out without replicating the data. And customers love Delta sharing. You will hear from both of these customers today and tomorrow. Mercedes-Benz is speaking today, and they have built this data mesh across Azure and AWS using Delta sharing. And Hewlett-Packard, they share the 3D printer telemetry data with end customers so that end customers can use that telemetry data to drive proactive maintenance of huge 3D printers. And all that data is shared using Delta sharing. Okay. This is an interesting before and after picture. So before, the sharing was a very complex and a manual process. If you have to share, first of all, you have to curate the data. Then you have to set up the sharing infrastructure, SFTP or FTP. Then you have to set up the security. Then you have to share. And then you have to constantly monitor, right? If the data changes, you have to constantly then send the refreshed updates. In the new scenario, yes, you have to curate the data, but once you have that, you Delta share, and it shows up at the receiver's end in the Unity catalog. So what used to take maybe weeks, maybe days, now takes minutes. And the good example of that is Kythera Labs. It's a very powerful quote, right? Delta sharing is about open sharing, and Delta sharing is about zero copy sharing. And with that, they have been able to reduce the sharing costs by approximately 80%, $2 million saved over 2 years. Okay. Hopefully, I've convinced you that open sharing is fantastic. Now, let's talk about the second pillar, which is clean rooms. When you are actually collaborating with another organization and you want to combine the data together, but you don't want each other's data to be seen by each other, that's when clean rooms is used, right? And market tells us that there is a huge demand for such a product. Why? Because yes, everybody believes in collaboration, but everybody is concerned about, or 56%, more than half are concerned about privacy. And there are solutions in the marketplace today. And as I mentioned before, they are either rigid in terms of what you can do with the data inside clean rooms, or they are restrictive of who you can invite to participate in clean rooms. We built clean rooms with the idea to essentially unlock that restriction. You can invite partners, no matter whether they're on Google, Azure, AWS, to the clean rooms, and you can use a variety of different tools to analyze this data. And there are various examples which we have seen ever since we have gone public preview with clean rooms. And we went GA in February timeframe. We have seen audience segmentation in advertising and retail, fraud protection, which Jamie talked about, and then in healthcare, we also seen a company who is collaborating with many other companies to fasten the drug clinical trial process. So it's a very interesting use case what clean rooms is used for. And you will also hear from another customer of ours, I think it's today, 4:10 p.m., Intuit, and they have built a privacy-safe lending marketplace using clean rooms. Okay. And all of this comes together with our Databricks Marketplace. This is the last pillar I'll talk about. This is where we have not just data, but we have AI models, notebooks, solutions, and various different types of what we call volumes, images, videos, et cetera, all this data available to bring into Databricks Data Intelligence Platform. And one thing which I have seen data providers get very excited about is because any data which is sourced from Databricks Marketplace, when it comes inside the data intelligence platform, it could be used by a data engineer, a data scientist, or business analyst. So the data goes a long way in driving value for the organization. And I'm super proud to announce 15 new partners who have recently joined our data sharing and marketplace ecosystem, which includes S&P Global, Walmart Data Ventures we talked about, FactSet, Crunchbase, Dun & Bradstreet, Moody's, and several others. And with the addition of all these partners, our marketplace has grown significantly. We have close to now, I would say, 300 providers. So this is a slightly outdated slide. And we have 90+ AI models on Databricks Marketplace. And it's not just the fastest growing data marketplace, it's the fastest growing data and AI marketplace. Okay, last slide. Just like we have seen a tremendous adoption by customers, our partners also love, because they think the marketplace gives, for example, Komodo Healthcare, they think marketplace gives a very solid foundation to healthcare companies, all the data derived from Komodo Healthcare data sets from marketplace. Atlassian, they have Atlassian Data Lake, and all the data which sits inside Atlassian Data Lake could be delta shared with customers so that they can run their own analytics in a unified fashion. Both of these customers are leveraging Databricks Marketplace and delta sharing. Okay, so I talked about the value, I talked about the customer momentum and the partner ecosystem. Now I would like to invite Tao to walk us through the technical innovations and what's coming. So Tao, over to you. There you go.
Thank you, Harish. Now you have seen how data collaboration can drive business value for your organization. Here, let me take you through some product innovations on how we make this all possible. What's new, what's possible, and what's coming. Let's start at the foundation, data sharing. The mission for data sharing has always been simple but bold. We want the data sharing to be an open, flexible way to share all your data and AI assets across platforms, clouds, and regions. And these are the three themes of investment we are trying to do to achieve our mission. We want to share any assets to anyone without frictions. We expanded the asset types we are supporting to include iceberg tables and Lakehouse Federation, as Harish was talking. And then we expanded the recipient to include the iceberg clients. And we help you to do recipient-side governance with ABAC. To improve the security of open sharing, we added OIDC authentication. And to help you reduce the network friction, we introduced the data sharing network gateway. Let's dive into some of those. It's a big slide. I want to start with the one I'm most excited about. You have heard Ali said about how we are unifying the formats, right? You cannot truly unify the formats of data and iceberg without talking about sharing. So on one side, if you have an iceberg table you want to share, now you can bring that table into Unity Catalog, and data sharing can help you share it as you are doing with all the other data tables. Without ETL, without a format conversion, powered by uniforms. If you have a data table, but then your collaborators are using Iceberg native clients, now data sharing supports sharing into Iceberg clients so that you can truly meet your collaborators where they are. This is gonna open up the sharing ecosystem for data sharing a lot to include all the Iceberg speaking tools. Let me show you a demo video on how to share a data table to Iceberg REST clients, in this case, Snowflake. show you how to share a data table on Databricks as an iceberg table to Snowflake. Starting from the provider side, we have a data table of city staff demographics. Let's create a new share. I will choose an open recipient that I have created earlier and communicated with my collaborator, so that they know the connection information such as the endpoint and bearer token. Now the share is created. Let's switch to the recipient side on Snowflake. Here I'm on the recipient side on Snowflake. I'm in a notebook. The notebook has 3 parts. The first part of the notebook does a one-time network and secret setup. And it gets the share name, schema name, and table name of the share with the connection information in the open recipient. The second part of the notebook is the key. It creates the catalog integration in Snowflake. We specify iceberg REST as the catalog source, iceberg as the table format, data sharing endpoint as the catalog URI, the share name as the warehouse name, vendor credentials as the access delegation mode, and the data sharing bearer token is used for authentication. And now we have this iceberg catalog integration created from our data share. The last step is to bring in the shared table into the catalog. So we specify the schema name and then the table name as the namespace and table name. With that, we can start to query this table as iceberg. Now you can see the result. And remember, this is a live query to a data table on Databricks as an iceberg table on Snowflake with no copy and no format conversion. Yeah, that's the demo. When I was playing with this new feature, it's really magical for me. It's really like smooth. It just works. It just works. So I think this is really game-changing. Now you can really use data sharing as your unified sharing platform to reach both data and iceberg community. Okay, now let's look at the many other features that are also interesting. So the first one I want to talk about is sharing of Lakehouse Federation. So yes, organizations do not have data in one place. You often have data in the other like databases, data warehouses, catalogs. Unity Catalog Lakehouse Federation lets you bring in those cross-platform data live without copying. And it supports many types of data sources like the MySQL, Snowflake, Redshift, and so on. The data sharing support for Lakehouse Federation enables you to use the same secure and easy sharing experience for those cross-platform data without ETLs. So this is where we meet where your data is. You can start to using sharing without the heavy lifting of moving your data around. And this feature is coming to public preview in this quarter. The next thing I want to talk about is the open sharing with OpenID Connect Token Federation. So you heard of the Walmart data sharing case to their suppliers, like thousands of suppliers. This is an underpinning technology to enable that scenario. So with the OpenID Connect Token Federation, the recipient can authenticate the shares with their chosen identity providers, such as Azure Entra ID and Okta. And this gives you more precise control of who gets access to what data. So in the user-to-machine use case, you can specify users and groups. In the machine-to-machine cases, you can specify service principals or cloud provider managed identities. And this eliminates the need to exchange secrets when you are doing open sharing. And this feature is mostly generally available today. I think the missing part is the cloud provider managed identities. When the sharing use case grows in the enterprises, the network management can become a pain point. To enable the network connections, providers and the recipient often have to manually coordinate to enable the IP allowed lists, bucket level permissions, firewall setups. To simplify this setup, we're introducing the data sharing network gateway. With this, you can configure your access rules with the managed gateway once. And from then on, Databricks is going to manage the network access rules for you going forward. So that means as you grow your sharing network, you do not need to put in more manual operations to catching up on the network configuration. And this supports both customer managed and the Databricks managed storage. And this feature is coming to preview in this quarter. And we have had good sessions on this yesterday. So if you are interested, definitely check out the recordings. And we hear from our customers that cross-domain fine-grained access control is critical, but it's hard. It usually involves you to duplicate tables or changing your policies. So that's why we are building the sharing with attribute-based access control. With this, privileged users can start to share assets with IBAC rules enforced without needing to make a copies. So you can share the same copy with ABAC rules. And on the recipient side, you can layer on top of your ABAC policies for this shared table, just as how you would govern an asset in your own domain. This is currently in private preview and goes to beta in this quarter. So I want to wrap up this data sharing updates with a very unique joint offering from Databricks and SAP that you have seen a little bit earlier. So SAP systems forms the backbone of the many enterprises globally. That makes the SAP data one of the most valuable assets for your analytics and AI. So we're thrilled to share the upcoming bi-directional data sharing, data access between SAP Business Data Cloud, BDC, and Databricks. So with this capability, you can access your SAP BDC data with zero copy, and this data is modeled and maintained by SAP. So you can always get the fresh data and governed data from SAP in your Databricks, right in your Databricks instance. So this capability is coming soon for your existing Databricks instances. So if you are interested in learn more of this, we have a good talk later today. Highly recommended. So that wraps up the data sharing part of it. That data sharing enables the secure live data access across platforms. Now, we know that if we wanted to ensure privacy-safe collaboration, we needed to go to clean rooms. Let's talk about clean rooms. As a quick recap, what makes Databricks clean rooms special? 3 pillars. 1, leveraging data sharing. Databricks Clean Rooms supports collaboration of assets across cloud, across platforms with no need for replication. 2, leveraging the serverless notebooks. Databricks Clean Rooms supports arbitrary compute from analytics to AI machine learning workloads. You are not restricted to just a templated or confined set of capabilities in the clean rooms. The last one is that with APIs and built-in orchestrations, Databricks Clean Room is ready for operation at scale. We have invested heavily in clean rooms across a broad set of capabilities across data privacy, compute types, scalability and automation, and cross-cloud, cross-platform interoperability. So I wanted to highlight some of the recent additions to the capability set. One, we introduced the explicit and auto approvals to streamline the governance in the clean room. And we have added multi-collaborator support so that you can include up to 9, 10 collaborators in your clean room when your business case need. And then we reached general availability for central clean rooms to be run on GCP following AWS and Azure. That just expand your options on the cloud and regions to run your privacy-safe workload. Reviews and approvals are a fundamental part of Databricks Clean Room's privacy model. We wanted to make sure that the notebooks in clean rooms are fully reviewed, ready to run, while keeping the process streamlined and simple. So we introduced the explicit and auto approvals for the notebooks. Collaborators now can formally approve notebooks, track progresses in real time, and set up auto approvals for your trusted partners. This reduces the frictions and increases the transparencies in this whole process. And this capability is just reached the general availability. Identity resolution is a critical part for many privacy-safe collaboration use cases. Think about marketing or healthcare. With Databricks Clean Rooms, you can perform identity resolution without exposing any PII or business IP to your partners. We simplify this process through built-in integrations with leading identity providers like Epsilon, Axiom, Deloitte, and LiveRamp. Let me show you a quick demo on how identity resolution can be done with Epsilon in Databricks Clean Rooms. Let's take an example of an e-commerce company working with Epsilon to compute their core IDs. Here I'm signed into the e-commerce company's Databricks account. I create a clean room, and I invite Epsilon to the clean room by adding their sharing identifier to it, which they've shared with me offline. In a few moments, the clean room creates. And as you can see, Epsilon has preloaded all of their assets to it. You can also see that here I'm in GCP, but Epsilon is in Azure. Thanks to Databricks Clean Room's multi-cloud support, we're able to collaborate securely together. Now, looking at the assets, you can see Epsilon has added an identity graph table, a private library, and an Epsilon core identity notebook. Clicking into the identity graph table, let me see the metadata about this table. But since we're in a clean room, I can't actually see the raw identity graph. Opening up the notebook shows me Epsilon's how to use it. All I need to do is to upload a table with the expected column names, and it will create an output crosswalk table which maps my customer IDs to Epsilon's core IDs. I go back to the home screen and add my input table to the clean room. Importantly, adding the table to a clean room does not duplicate its content, as it's a live data share. And just as how I can't access Epsilon's raw data in the identity graph table, Epsilon won't be able to access the data from the tables I added to the clean room. Data privacy is preserved for both parties. Now back onto the notebook details page, I have approvals from all parties and can now run the notebook. When the notebook run completes, I can see the generated crosswalk table. This crosswalk table is shared directly to me as a clean room output table. This means I can access it outside of clean rooms and can use it for all the future interactions which requires a core ID. Yeah, that was a quick demo on how you can do identity resolutions with, while keeping your data and the business IP private in Databricks clean rooms. Okay, let's shift the focus to Marketplace. I think the time is running out. I will just blaze through the features. So Databricks Marketplace is where the providers and the consumers are coming together to share, discover, and monetize their data and AI assets. It goes beyond the data to include all the data types you will need in your AI workload, and it helps to evaluate the solutions faster with built-in samples and notebooks. And most importantly, continue our theme of open. There's no vendor lock-in in Databricks Marketplace since you can reach different platforms and client tools. So we invested to support more and more data and AI product types on Marketplace, such as we included partner integrations and solution accelerators using Databricks Apps. And we build ways to help us maximize the customer reach, such as the provider analytics dashboard, and then smarter recommendations. Partner integrations are an important pillar for data and AI solutions. So we thought we're going to bring it into the Marketplace so that you can discover and evaluate those offerings side by side with the other offerings, like data and solutions. And then I want to highlight that on Databricks Marketplace, we have end-to-end solution accelerators that are ready to use. And as you can see, the samples are listed on this slide. Those solutions ranges from Databricks-built solutions, like the knowledge-based chatbot that Han-Lin and Casey mentioned in the keynote. This is a template of the app using that technology. And we have third-party providers provided industry proven solutions like the Epsilon CDP and the DeepSync solution from T-Mobile. For our providers, we built a Marketplace provider usage analytics dashboard that gives out the actionable insights to the listing engagement so that the providers can optimize their lead gen and have targeted customer outreach to improve conversion on Databricks Marketplace. And last year, Databricks introduced the Express Trial. Open Marketplace with Express Trial lets you extend the reach beyond existing Databricks customers. So we thought that this is a key part of our value of open as well. And new users can use Marketplace listings within just 2 minutes after the trial is set up. Last but not least, I wanted to call out that on Databricks Marketplace, when we bring in the providers and the products, we have a strong industry focus. So we wanted to be able to offer you the relevant, high-quality data and AI products designed for your sector. Maybe that's financial services, that's healthcare, retail, or marketing, or beyond. So we have been keeping raising the bar for sharing and collaboration to make it a more open, flexible, privacy-safe, and AI-ready. With that, I will invite Harish to come up on stage to wrap up the session.
Great. Thank you, Tao. Lots of technical innovations and a lot of customer momentum. So just to wrap up, these are the 4 sessions I would highly recommend you all attend to get a deeper dive into things which we talked about. So we have Mercedes-Benz speaking 12:40 p.m., Delta sharing in action at 1:50 p.m. That's a product-driven session. Then we have Intuit clean rooms at 4:10 p.m. today, and tomorrow we have Marketplace, top 10 questions about Marketplace answered. That's also a good session to attend. And we are proud to open up the private preview of the features which Tao talked about. So please take a picture of the slide and please sign up, and we'd be happy to work with you all to get you going with Network Gateway, Iceberg client sharing, as well as SAP Delta sharing integration. With that, we are right on time, 10 seconds left. So if there are any questions, we are here to answer those questions. Thank you so much.